Hey guys, DB Rye here, aka Rye Melrose, and yes, there's a helmet on my head. I've been skateboarding today, which is why I'm now sitting down, taking a bit of a break while we get this next story time out of the way. Now, this time, I thought we'd give Agent I a little bit of a break since we introduced Sorrow at the end of Chapter 3. Let's get started on the Sorrow story. And well, getting right into it, this story begins, well, quite frankly, since before mankind was even a thing, at the very birth of the universe itself. I am talking, of course, the Big Bang. Now, whether you guys believe in the Big Bang or not, or whether you believe Azaroth created the universe, either way, whatever the reason, something happened in that event. During that explosion, Big Bang, whatever it is, whatever created any other sort of cosmic force out there, one was known as sorrow. No matter what word you had, whatever word for it every other civilization out in the galaxy had, it all meant the one word in the English dictionary: sorrow. Because normally for sorrow, a powerful cosmic deity to appear on your planet usually meant one thing: evil had begun to overshadow the good in the universe, and it was Sorrow's duty to sort of clean up the universe, to restore the balance between good and evil. And, well, for aeons he did that job exactly right, going from planet to planet, civilization to civilization. However, Sorrow always sort of felt that something was always missing in his life. A home of his own. He sort of just drifted around, going from planet to planet. But one day, he found a nice rock that, well, it sustained life. It had potential to grow life. And he decided to stick around this planet and basically made it his home. So while he did all his other duties of the cosmos, he would always come back to this planet in order to settle down. And each time he did, he eventually witnessed the evolution of man, because this planet was the planet we would come to know as the planet Earth. He would come back, he would see the first little microbe life form, till eventually the first fish that was brave enough to come on the land, the dinosaurs, and eventually mankind itself. Now, giving mankind's premise for for evil and killing each other and whatnot, yeah, Sorrow had to watch mankind very closely, and in a way he was kind of the ruler of Earth for a while of course keeping all these other civilizations in check and making sure people were meddling with things they weren't supposed to. However, one day, once we hit the medieval times, people got tired of Sorrow's meddling. He just kept coming and going as he pleased. As far as the human race were concerned and the kings and queens of that era were concerned, they were the proper owners of the planet, not this deity, this cosmic deity that just came and go as he pleased, only to punish them for doing whatever it was they were doing. Where they said he had no right. And so, with the help of certain sorcerers, known as the Gavins, they one day raided the castle Sorrow had called his own, that he built himself, the castle that would eventually be known as Gavin House, and, well, they were lying in waiting until the next time the cosmic deity would arrive back on Earth, and they sealed him within a newborn child. Now, a human had certain responsibilities bearing the cosmic deity. Now, just like the cosmic deity's duty to the universe is, it was a duty that could not be interrupted no matter what. So he would appear and maintain the balance between good and evil, but the good thing is, it would be died down to a lot. The human host would have a certain say, so to speak. And being linked to Sorrow, a cosmic immortal deity, also brought to possibility reincarnation. So even if this the person who's hosting Sorrow died, sooner or later he'd be reincarnated again, and it would start over. But during that time, between the time that Sorrow was gone and during the time he reincarnated, humans pretty much ruled the planet until such times it would begin to fall out of balance again. The balance between good and evil. Sorrow could only rise and take shape during those circumstances according to the spells that the sorcerers had placed on him and the host. And powerful magic it was. It was a way of using supernatural, even godlike power that could be learnt from a human rather than cosmic deity that just has the power, you know? And well, throughout the aeons, they had been 21 sorrows. In other words, 21 people who hosted Sorrow and were known as Sorrow to keep the balance between good and evil throughout the ages. But now that we come to modern times, the age of science, technology, AI, all of that, Sorrow has now risen again, particularly in this new city where the evil influence right now is the strongest in the entire universe. And that is Fraide City. Yes, the same city where Agent I tends to patrol. Whether he's on a mission or whether he's out doing a normal patrol, yep, the exact same city. And well, just like with every other host, the host would have no idea he's Sorrow until much later on, when he eventually does become aware of it on his own, or on their own. That's just how it works. Sorrow would take over the host every now and then, do his thing, transform back, and the host having no memory of it. Calling them blackouts. And in this city, there was a lot of evil to get rid of. Oh yes, drug dealers, brutal murderers. The city may as well have been an insane asylum full of criminals. It's yeah, good people for the most part lived in fear, afraid to leave their house except for their job or kids going to school, and even then, you know, it was like stepping into a war zone. It was quite literally heck on earth. And I say heck because of the algorithm. And, well, with Sorrow around, let's just say the bad guys' days were numbered, as, he would violently track any evil perpetrator, and well, while usually he did not have to necessarily kill them himself, he would use his judgment stare, a very powerful ability that, if he stares at you at it, and you've lived a lifetime of sin, murdering people, depending on what you've done, basically the guilt and weight of your own sins would basically kill you, cause your head to blow up. So if you're a petty crook, you'd probably just end up knocked out. But if you did worse things, if you were a mass murderer, your head would blow up. So that's how we kept things clean usually. And well, the only other time you really saw him straight up kill something using his brute force, his flying and speed, is if he faced another supernatural threat. Creatures from other dimensions. And well, one day, when he wasn't Sorrow, when he was simply Detective Frank Gavin, a cop in the Fraide City Police Department, he had noticed certain things were happening in his city. And a lot of times when he became outraged, he would unintentionally transform into Sorrow. Luckily, he's usually alone when those sort of outbursts happen, and he weighs him up to blackouts because he has no memory of what happens when he's Sorrow. At least not in this point of the story, as I've mentioned before. And well, he found himself investigating this mysterious death of a girl who's dead in an alley, and it's been nothing that anyone on the force has even seen before. It's like the life, her skin, her face was like, it's like she literally had the life sucked out of her. And well, being the host of Sorrow, you have certain powers as well. Powers and abilities that Frank Gavin could never really explain. Just thought he had like an uncanny, third eye, a sixth sense, if you were, kind of thing. So as he puts his hands on the girl, he would get visions about her last moments, and he saw that it was a certain creature that killed this girl. He instantly transformed into Sorrow and immediately went after the creature Sorrow, knowing exactly what this creature is, having encountered it in his past. It is known as the Face Feeder. And basically, a Face Feeder, as he's named it, basically it's it always eats. It's never satisfied. It goes around, and it just goes around sucking the life out of every living being it can. And in a city this size, a planet this size, we're talking over 6 to 12 billion people that it can just consume. And it consumes pretty quickly, so Sorrow's got to get rid of this thing really quickly. But luckily, the good thing about the face feeders, they're not particularly that strong. At least, not in comparison to Sorrow. Give a human being a good flogging, but compared to what Sorrow is capable of, yeah, nothing. As he quickly tracks the face feeder down and rushes it. One punch sending it flying into the air and flying around and hitting it like that. Like, let's just say that this finger, where my finger is right now, is where the creature is. This is what Sorrow's doing to it as he's flying around. Bang hit, bang hit, bang hit, bang, 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 and then sends him to the ground. Shit. Causing a crater in the city, a bit of an earthquake. And to make sure the creature is dead, destroys it with his electricity eye beams. Destroying the thing, vanquishing it. Sorrow is thinking this is over, but not quite, because more of these portals are appearing, and more of these face feeders are coming in, and Sorrow is in for quite a bit of a fight. But nevertheless, he does manage to defeat them all, and the portals stop coming. He's dealt with the issue, at least for now at least, just in time, because his host cannot take any more of this, as Sorrow now disappears and retransforms back into his host. A certain weakness when you're Sorrow. There's only a certain amount of power you can use before you're going to change back and be your normal, human, vulnerable self. And well, and once again, Frank Gavin has no idea what the heck's going on. He's surrounded by a bunch of dead creatures, and he essentially ends up getting all the credit to stopping said creatures, and they're being hauled away by fate to be studied, analysed, all that thing. And, well, whenever something greatly evil was going on along the city, Sorrow would transform yet again and put a stop to that criminal as well, or that bad guy as well, whether it's carjacking, whatever it is. And bottom line is, people were beginning to notice Sorrow flying around, standing on top of buildings, or floating above there, watching the city. At first they just called him a vigilante. But no, this is literally his job. And right now, Earth is in this story, is the center of evil in the universe at the moment. So, until that changes, he's not leaving. And it begins that Sorrow is building up such a reputation. He's on the news and the newspapers. People don't know what to think of him, because even though he's saved a lot of people from certain doom, people aren't a fan of how he horrifyingly kills some of these bad guys. In most cases, in front of them. After all, an all-powerful being like that, is he really going to care about public opinion? Not really. And so, this eventually leads him to dealing with different types of criminals and bad guys. He eventually runs into a mass killer known as the Purifier, who, well, in a way, let's just say he likes to take out people the same way the Red Lady does in Game of Thrones. And he calls it a purifying death. But luckily for everyone in the city, Sorrow was able to track this one down really quickly and essentially puts a stop to him and all his, whatever it is he's doing. And it turns out that upon Frank Gavin, the host, the detective who transforms into Sorrow, has actually been investigating the same case. He was trying to bring this mass murderer in himself, and he's a leader of a cult, a certain cult, and a cult known as the Roller cult. Those who've read the Chase Hoodlands comics and currently reading the Sorrow and Agent Ice comics should be familiar who they are. Basically, they're trying to bring deities from other dimensions into this world, which is old knowledge that no one is supposed to have. And the Purifier is just one of the servants of that cult trying to more or less make this happen. And, well, at least with him gone and Sorrow making quick work of all the other followers, they were able to shut down this particular branch of the cult inside the city. And, well, it's not long when Frank Gavin begins getting word of another mass murderer, another killer who has been let out on the streets due to lawyers and technicalities. You know, as we know, sometimes even when you do the crime, the lawyer can get you off. And this killer was known as the Grinder. Lovely, blonde-haired woman who used to work as a train and subway driver. She used to love driving trains. And, well, she used to be abused by a boyfriend until she violently defended herself one time, running him down with her car. He gave chase, he had the gun pointed at her, her only choice was to mow him down. But unfortunately, like some people do when they kill for the first time in stories, don't ask me if it's the case in real life, she got a taste for it, the power of doing that to him, having that kind of domination over someone. So she would go around looking for other people to, well, do that kind of thing too. And this is where we're going to end the chapter. So I'll be back again next time when we continue the chapter 2 of Sorrow. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I tried to cover a fair bit in this first part, because, well, a lot of it is talking about Sorrow's past before we get to actually where the comic book actually starts in the city. So, as always, leave me your thoughts in the comments, like, subscribe, and I'll be back with chapter 2 next time.